All right, so we're going to be drawing these lemons here. We're going to start by sketching everything in a very light neutral color. So you at home, you can get any light neutral color. I'm using a peach. You could use like a light gray, or if you have to, a white, or even a light blue would work. Okay, so what we're gonna do is start with the ring of the bowl. Just to have a pleasant composition, I'm gonna leave about a hand's width on both sides. And we definitely wanna have a good hand's width at the top, okay? So go ahead and watch me first. I like to sketch light until I get it right. And I'm gonna use a black actually. So you'll see that I just wanna do I can do a really light sketch of an oval first. And then just so that you could see it, I'll kind of darken it in like this. Why don't we actually go ahead then and then put the front ring around that bowl? Notice how I just kind of scooped it around the middle. It's just a slightly larger oval. Now we'll be drawing in the sides of the bowl. My bowl kind of tapers inwards. Maybe you have a favorite bowl at home that is round, maybe it's more square. That's totally up to you. But my bowl is going to come in with a diagonal and in with a diagonal, kind of like this. And you want to make it deep enough to kind of look like it's holding a couple lemons, right? That's deep enough to hold some lemons. But if it's too shallow, the lemons wouldn't really fit in there, right? So you want to make it kind of deep, okay? And then we will close the bottom of our bowl like so. Sometimes we work from the front to the back. So notice how I have two lemons in my bowl, and lemons are the size of your fist. So if you want to just kind of visualize where your lemons would be, you can do that. But I'm going to start with this lemon in the foreground here in the front, and I'm going to start all the way over here. I'm going to overlap that back line, and it's just going to kind of disappear here. And if you think about it, you could kind of just visualize that lemon just kind of sitting right in that bowl, right like this. And we're using a light color because we know all the other colors will cover that up. So that is the point in using a light color. These look super, you guys. Great job. Now this lemon, this is the part that attaches to the tree. So it's kind of just to make some visual interest in our picture. I'm going to kind of shoot that one this way, but it starts behind this. I think it's interesting to see a little bit of the inside of the bowl. So if you agree, you could try to kind of leave a little bit of that inside of the bowl. And I'm just going to sketch it. And then maybe I put on that stem. Okay, the stem. Where it flowers and meets
the north and the south
thing. Yeah. Very good. Okay, I'm going to choose to have one lemon in the front. But if you want a few more, you can definitely put as many lemons as you want. I like to overlap my shapes. I think it adds to a very harmonious composition. So I'm going to kind of cover up this whole front corner of the bowl. And then remember, there's no two lemons in this world that look alike. Some are long and thin, some are fat, some are moldy, some are bumpy, some are whatever, right?
So they have stems on both ends.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the stems on both ends. Now we want right now our bowl and our lemons are floating in space. So as soon as we give it a table line, we can kind of ground our still life, if you will. So I'm going to move my table down to about here. You want that table to be high enough above the bottom of the bowl so it really looks like that bowl is actually like on the table, right? So now we've completed the drawing portion. we'll now be coloring it in. So we're gonna add lights and darks. So we're gonna look at the light source, all right? In the one that I have on the website that I showed you guys a picture of, the light source is different. So that's obviously a different version than this. But this looks like the light source is coming down, right? And then the shadow goes this way. I want to kind of, if you can visualize this, I'm going to kind of have the light source be coming from this way, okay? So if you want to think about it, it'd be coming from that way. So if the light source was coming from this way, we would see the highlights like this, here and here and here, okay? So notice how when I start to apply the highlights to the page, I want to kind of go with the way that the lemon is facing. I'm going in long strokes with the fruit, like so. Apparently, fruits are also lemons are also considered berries.
No.
You
Really?
learn
Yeah.
something new every time you're in this class.
And sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with art.
That's good. All right, notice I kind of put it on sort of thick. If you want, you can do some light pressure on either side of it. Okay, so my bowl almost looks like it has ridges in it, right? Like it's one of those bowls that maybe a handmade potter made. But definitely the whole rim of my bowl is caught in the light. So I'm going to throw some white in the rim of the bowl. It'll kind of come backwards like this. And also the light would be coming from this way, so it's gonna catch this side over here. This back side here, we're gonna throw more shadows in it. And we're not really looking at this one as far as
Yeah, but
the light is
source
different. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. And I have about 4, but that's, whatever
It's your
you
pot,
like.
right?
Yeah.
It's your bowl.
It is.
Yep.
Okay. Let's put a tiny, since we have our white out, let's just put a tiny bit of white in the front of the table. And notice what a light pressure that I'm using, very light pressure. We'll probably also see a little bit of light. And I'm just gonna do this really faint, very, very faint in this area. Because this side's gonna be dark, so this side's gonna be a little bit lighter. And maybe I come all the way down to that table edge and just sort of come up a little bit. Let's put our white back in the box. We're gonna grab the black. We're gonna kind of start to lay in some shadows now. We know that there's a nice dark shadow right in here. Let's start with that just to make it easy. Nice dark shadow there. And then remember, if our light source is coming from here, you'd have a shadow back here. So I'm gonna lay in that shadow back there. Okay, so I'm gonna throw my shadow in this area. Remember, for all of you watching this has a different light source. So I'm making this one up based on the light source being here. Right, so I have a shadow up here. We actually could also do just a tiny bit of a shadow down there. That one's going to be a lot smaller, but that's kind of where it meets the table and is rounding under the spherical fruit there. So we want to kind of show that it's coming under, right? And this guy actually is a little bit behind that one, so we can throw a little bit just back there in that corner, like that. Wonderful, wonderful. These lemons are zesty. These are so appealing. All right, well, so if the light's coming from here, this lemon would cast a shadow onto the bowl back here. So let's throw a shadow on the bowl back there. Okay. All right, so then we will also see a shadow behind the bowl. And the table is a man-made table. Tables go with the horizon line. You think of it as being a wood grain table. So my strokes are going to go left to right. Like this, behind. Our lemon will have a tiny bit of shadow back there. In this area here.
This is
Here's where we can kind of have fun with this shadow a little bit. I'm not going to draw it in because if I drew in the shadow, it would have a hard edge. And shadows are never perfect and they don't have hard edges. But notice how I was able to get this stem kind of back there. And I'm really, really light, very, very light pressure, very light pressure here. As light as you can press. Just a little bit of texture, a little bit of shadow back there is all that we want. And notice how I'm going to kind of fade it out. This should be way, way lighter than the table. If the table is at 100%, this should be at 50%. Like this. Let's put the black back. We're finally going to get out the yellow. Yes. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of a demo here, okay? Oil pastels are best for layering. So the more you layer them on top of each other, the thicker and richer and creamier and more vibrant and more amazing they look. So they're really good for layering. That's the best thing they like to do. So watch me first. I'm going to start over here where I don't have any color down. And then I'm going to go over the white. And I'm keeping going. I'm going to have long strokes. And I'm finally going to get over here to the black. And it'll be like magic. Yes, this is the most fun part. So when you put the yellow over the white, it looks like a light yellow. And when you put the yellow over the black, it looks like a dark yellow. And then wherever you didn't have anything, it's sort of like the medium tone. Okay, so just by putting those highlights and lowlights in first, and now the yellow on top of it, you suddenly have yourself a very awesome looking three-dimensional lemon. So go ahead and do all of your lemons first. It doesn't matter if you start over the black or over the white first. That part does not matter. But the strokes kind of matter. You want the strokes, like I said, to continue going in this long, thin, or not long, thin, longer stroke pattern, like so. Okay, they're getting zesty. So yeah, I kind of I was heavy-handed with this one, but see, Carol, how just right here is the only place I don't really have any. And I'm using black, so mine's gonna look automatically different than yours. But you want to cover up your original sketch line now. You want the yellow to kind of cover up that peach, which will even add to the awesomeness because it'll look slightly different in tone. And now that I've colored in all three, watch what I'm going to do. You want to place the hand that you don't draw with down really nice and firm so that you don't crinkle up the paper like this. And you kind of want to blend in one direction until you really get the hang of it so that you don't mess up your paper, okay? So I'm just going in one direction and I'm softening up the colors together. You want to kind of overlap these colors and you want to kind of mush it or push it into the little teeth of the paper. All paper has teeth.
Really?
This is what I'm using here.
Okay, thanks.
Notice how I'm going in one direction. And if you really don't want to use your finger, because if you have beautiful nails like our nails over here, yeah, you can use a paper towel. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like. It's the same sort of effect. It's a little bit different. It takes a little bit more up off of your the paper, just a little bit, but it still will give you the same effect. Woo. Effect. Looking great. Let's do a midway share.
Hey.
Kate, how do you feel about it?
Wow, that looks
Yeah, I really like how, I really like it.
nice spatial orientation.
Looks super good.
I like.
Carol, let's see. Ooh, that looks so pretty. I really like what you have going on here. Wow. Yeah, yours are nice and full up. All right, and here is Miss Linda's.
Okay.
Very lovely, looking really good. So see how they all look the same and different. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going for, is that they our differences should and can be celebrated.
So just
Because there's no wrong way to do it. It all looks awesome. Yeah. Okay, now let's think about the bowl. The base of my bowl. So, the base of my bowl is green, and then I have used blue in the shadows. I'm gonna use green, the dark green for the base again. Dark green. You can use any color that you want. Whatever speaks to you is the color that you should use.
Daisy feels left out.
You're such a good dog. Okay. Yeah. All right. So grab the color of your choice. Once again, I'm using green. We don't need too much paper off the top. If you rip,
Saying that to us.
if you rip too much paper off the top, it'll break and you'll get more messy quicker. So remember, we want to go in the lake of the bowl. We're going to cover up the white and the black, just like we did before. And Daisy's in a licking mood, therefore she
goes back.
She goes back. She's lost the privilege of sitting on my lap. Sorry, Daisy.
Take that, baby.
Okay, we can go kind of fast with this. It's, bam, bam process here. Doesn't it look super neat when I go over the black? That looks really cool. Okay, in the shadow portion of this, I'm going to throw a little blue. Blue is a receding color. It's a cool color. It's a color that we use for shadows a lot, just because it is receding. I'm gonna, just because we don't want it just black is kind of boring, I'm gonna overlap the black a little, but I'm also gonna go in these ridges here. We didn't really go into those ridges. I'm gonna kind of put that into those ridges there. And we just need a light pressure. This isn't supposed to be heavy-handed. I'm not gonna fill in my rim, but I'm gonna outline the rim with the blue. I'm outlining the rim with the blue just to sort of help accentuate where that all is. So once again, I've just thrown it in the back behind the lemon. It just looks good. Just looks artsy, right? Looks artsy. Now, in order to do the highlights on this bowl, I'm gonna choose this light green, which is one of the reasons why I did the bowl green in the first place, because our 12-pack kit here comes with a light green and a dark green. If you had a purple bowl, you could use pink in this step. If you had a blue bowl, you could also maybe use this lime green. You just want a slightly lighter color that is not white, or you could use white again. But look, I'm gonna throw this lime green right in this area here and over here and here and here. It's just gonna add a touch of light. So that was a very easy, fast step, yo. Okay. We want to just sort of give it a little bit more attention, a little bit more love. So I'm going to take the brown, and we want to go back and forth. And this brown can go past the shadow a little bit, kind of like this. And on top of it, you want this brown to kind of go on top of the shadow and on top of the highlight, kind of like this. And now I want to, because shadows are very, very soft and the table is not the hero of the shot, we want to soften the whole table as well, because the lemons are the hero. So right now, this has a lot of texture on it. So I want to sort of minimize that texture so that the lemons can kind of stay the hero. And maybe for the table, you do want to use sort of you can use the paper towel. And I'm just gonna soften these two colors together. Try to go in one direction until you've really gotten until you've mastered it. I just blended this a little bit more too. We didn't blend the bowl yet either. So some of your fingers will start to get a little messy. You can take your paper towel like this and wipe them off. Or you could find a finger that you haven't used yet. Or you can use the paper towel. I usually just kind of wipe mine off, and if there's still a little residual color on there, that's fine. So I'm just gonna kind of blend in the green a little bit. And to take your yellow again and just sort of put a little bit more yellow, because after you've been smudging everything and blending everything kind of like dulls up a little bit. So notice how I have the yellow again, and I'm just going to put a pop of yellow just in the center of just these, like right in the center here. Liven that back up. And this one has outlines. Last thing maybe we can talk about is that this one has outlines, and you can see how my daughter's has the heavy outlines. What we could do is just outline just the bottom like this to accentuate the shadow, and you could kind of outline the back.
Are we on black?
Yeah. Just sort of deepen in the shadow a little bit. And you could deepen in the shadow here a little bit. Post theirs online at artscoolwithjules.com, which is live and running.
Is it?
Uh-huh. Let's take a look. Here is Linda's. That looks
Awesome.
great. Yeah, you could see the same but different, and we're celebrating the differences. So yours can be different too.
I've got a weird.
Here
looking-
is Carol's.
Where-
Wow, that
where-
looks really,
Oh,
really
it's
good.
so good,
Yeah.
Carol.
You did really good. I love it. So cool.
I really
Very
like the
good.
pastels.
I knew that you would. Do you like them, Kate?
Yes.
This is
I
Kate's. Do you
really
like
like
them?
it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I have
oil
a whole-
pastels are the
I was
best.
gonna say, I probably
Should be
a
the
set
next
of
newest
40,
phenomenon
and I have
because
never used them.
all right.
Okay, and the Jules, cool with Jules.
This was cool. School.
Was it cool?
Yeah, really nice. I liked it. But then I'm excited about using mine.